Welcome to this week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley reporting from Washington, D.C. A very full program today. On the one hand, we have the worldwide mobilization to stop Obama's aggression, his imperialist attack on Libya, his genocidal attack on Libya using the terrorists of Al-Qaeda, the terrorists of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, as the ground troops of this imperialist assault. Obama has 4 wars going now: Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, the biggest of them all, and Libya at this point. It's an absolute disaster. But secondly, the wind of class struggle blows through the American Middle West, the heartland, the Great Lakes, in those states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana. The workers are facing off against reactionary and indeed fascist Republican governors who are intent on destroying their trade union rights. So we're going to put our focus back on the class struggle in the Midwest, and actually our third point today, the looming double disaster, the double whammy of the Koch Brigade, the reactionary Republicans paid for by Koch, the so-called Tea Party, shills, clowns, astroturfers, intent now on shutting down the U.S. government, which means if you're living on Social Security, you can go die. If you're on Veterans Administration payments, that's their thanks to you for fighting the imperialist wars. They're going to cut you off. So we want to go through that, and that is now looming 1 week from the time we're talking to you. Today is April Fool's Day. I don't have any time for jokes today. The fools are the ones who believe in Koch, the Tea Party, Obama, and this wretched imperialist ruling class that we've got going. And the programmatic answers here, we're going to have a second installment on our coverage on the Wall Street sales tax. In particular, we're going to keep looking at that New York state tax. We want to put the searchlight, the spotlight on New York. Hey, Governor Cuomo, how come you're not collecting the 10 to 15 to 20 billion dollars that you could be putting into the coffers of New York State, so all those firemen, teachers, nurses, sanitation workers, and other working people won't take it on the chin, and you're doing a favor for the Wall Street fat cats, the hedge fund hyenas, the zombie bankers up there in their suites. We're also working this time around with appeals for volunteers. We've had a very gratifying response to the mention I made last week. If we have people in the principal languages of the world, or even any language of the world, it would be extremely appreciated if you would come forward. You can find a way to contact me through the tarpley.net website. Give me a little sketch of your abilities. Obviously, the ones that we're missing, I just want to stress some ones that we don't have. We don't have Arabic, we don't have Japanese, we don't have Chinese. We have progress on some other fronts, but really any language in the world, and of course the bigger the better, but everyone is welcome. So please go to that Tarpley.net website. And the other thing in the second part, we'll be talking about the need to get in touch with these class struggle realities on the ground in the Middle West or elsewhere, from New York State to California budget battles and on to Alaska and Hawaii, because we want to cover the mass strike, but from the point of view that the question of the mass strike is who will influence it, who will provide the program, who will provide leadership, rather than just sitting back and saying, long live the mass strike, which is the spontaneous position, much attacked over the years. Now, activity this week, mobilization, absolutely, international stuff in the foreground. Get yourself the Rock Creek Free Press, a fiercely independent newspaper. You can get this for free in boxes in the Washington, D.C. Metro. And headline story, Obama starts war number 4. Big headline, humanitarian fig leaf can't hide real reason. Libya has largest oil reserves in Africa. Well, of course, that is one of the main reasons. The broader umbrella, of course, the worldwide attack by CIA, State Department, MI6, Foreign Office against the nation state itself to maintain the empire. Author Webster G. Tarpley, Ph.D. So this was written on March 19th, on the night the war started. This article here, Obama Starts War Number 4. If you're not in Washington, D.C., you can also find it. You can find it, first of all, at tarpley.net. But it usually goes under the title, Obama's Bay of Pigs in Libya. And as I looked this morning, Obama's Bay of Pigs in Libya, 50,500 websites. And there's an Italian translation of that one, La Baia dei Porci di Obama, 76,700 websites in Italy. That's the general overview. That was March 19th. Later on, about 7 or 8 days ago now, I added CIA's Libya rebels are the same terrorists who killed U.S. and NATO troops in Afghanistan, well, in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And you can find that again at tarpley.net. But that is also on 38,400 websites, either mentioned or appear in full or a link, the Google search, in other words. So that's quite gratifying. La Baia dei Porci di Obama, 76,700. Now that's in Italian, right? Country of 60 million people, beating out the whole English language world. So it looks to me like there's strong anti-war sentiment in Italy. Good. Drop out of the coalition. Deny NATO the use of the Sigonella Air Base, the Aviano Air Base, the Naples Gaeta base of the entire NATO Mediterranean fleet. Kick them out. This is an exercise from the Italian point of view. It is a French grab for Libya meant to kick out the Italians, to kick out Italy and the Eni state oil company. And many people in Italy have seen that quite clearly. We've also got an Italian translation of the CIA's Libya rebels, the Ribelli Libici della CIA, 1,600 websites coming along nicely. We've also got a German version, Kopfverlag, my German publisher, KOPP, Kopfverlag, Obama's Schweinebucht in Libyen. That's 278 websites and growing fast. And the CIA's Libyan rebels is coming in a very fine translation. Will also be available on the Kopfverlag. I think it's called Kop Aktuell, K-O-P-P. But as soon as that's up there, I will link to that through tarpley.net. I also recommend everybody follow the Twitter feed, Webster G. Tarpley on Twitter, Webster G. Tarpley on Twitter in these hectic times, hour by hour stuff. And again, if you're in the Washington subway, grab a hold of that Rock Creek Free Press. And now for the next month, for the entire month of April, Obama Starts War Number 4. We'll be looking at the various imperialist bureaucrats as they wait for the train. And the waits are getting longer, thanks to the reactionary Republicans of the Tea Party who are cutting the funding for the Washington, D.C. Metro. Maybe they'll be sweltering in the tunnel for a few hours on their way to work. Of course, they ride in limousines, don't they? I'm sorry. Koch sends a car and driver for them, those guys. Now let's look at the war front. The big story this week, exploding into the news, is the question of Al-Qaeda as the essence, the central organizing feature of these Libyan rebels. Let me add, I was fortunate enough to do 3 interviews at Russia Today, RT, on Wednesday afternoon. You can see these all on tarpley.net. The Arabic one will be up there soon. You have to look now at the composition of the rebel force, the way that this became a big story. We have Admiral Stavridis, the NATO commander, testifying at midweek in front of the Senate Armed Services Committee saying there are flickers of Al-Qaeda, flickers. Admiral, those are not flickers. Those are bonfires. Those are floodlights. It's a supernova of Al-Qaeda. Back in a minute.